EG's turn to ban. Team ban. EG's turn to ban. EG's turn to ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. EG's turn to pick.
Dusker.
EG's turn to pick.
Terrorblade.
Dire team pick.
Earth Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. EG's turn to ban.
Tide Hunter.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. EG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. EG's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining.
Halberd, that's more of a CIS build, especially when you play against those heavy right clickers.
Well, we're going to be slowing it down here for Evil Geniuses, going back for the puck.
All right, some team fight of their own.
Good team fight. They also have the added silence, Dream Coil for their main team fight. Very elusive too. VGJ, they have some pretty good disables. Tut's not the best for locking down a puck. Tidehunter has to commit a ravage if he wants to kill a puck.
I'm still not giving up on Rubik because it's a good counter pick to a Tide. Good setup with the Earth Spirit. All right.
Just pick the team fight. Just keep layering the team fight on top of itself.
I mean, DP is still in the pool. They don't have the mid laners. Puck might be a mid lane, but most likely it's EG, so it's going to be an off lane.
Looking at this disruptor, is this VGJ saying that we're going to be bringing the fight to you now? Because they haven't picked anything rather greedy yet. They've gone for a lot of team fight, lots of control. And I think the biggest thing is that when you have a lot of disables, someone's going to die.
Yeah, but VGJ opting to fourth ban Razor makes it seem like they want to pick a core that it's something that you can leave in a lane by itself. DK was banned out by Evil Geniuses, so they can't go for that. But when you ban someone like a Razor, even though you have all these team fight-oriented supports, it seems like VGJ.Thunder is like, okay, we got all this team fight, we just need to get them experience and start team fighting early. If they're stuck around babysitting some carry because a Razor won't leave them alone, then that means that VGJ.Thunder, they'll have to play a later game.
Early game fighters, Lacoste, do you have any in mind?
Well, they could go for Monkey King. It lanes well against the Tidehunter if they want to go Terrorblade mid. I mean, it's really hard to predict what EG is going to do with their lanes. I don't think it's...
VGJ though, they need to look for some sort of fighter here, someone that's going to be able to apply the pressure.
They need the tower damage, so DP fits into that role.
Luna's still in the pool, goes well with their team fight.
Yeah, but not against Terrorblade. We've seen it a couple of times. It's really bad, especially when the Terrorblade hits level 20 with minus 10-second reflection cooldown. It just cuts her HP into 60-50% depending how much items does Luna have, plus also the bounce. That also works.
Do you think EG give any thought to something like an SD here? I mean, the illusions, I guess, are already going to be dealt with the VG lineup, but having some save against someone caught in the static storm kinetic field could be fairly helpful. They're running really low on time here.
Ooh. Second time we've seen Undying on the main stage, so this is a support duo of Earth Spirit and Undying. Position 5 Earth Spirit.
It's usually the position 5 Undying, I feel, these days. Well, actually, maybe not with an Earth Spirit. Both those heroes are... Undying is a lane winner. You pick him to win lanes in either the mid lane or some sort of aggressive tri-lane situation, or against a defensive tri-lane, rather. Decay is deceptively strong in these situations.
We do something funky here, dual lane off lane for Evil Geniuses with the Undying.
Which is how
they might go for, okay,
Undying.
so Gyro is a really good pick here against the Tombstone, against the Terrorblade Illusions.
Yeah.
That might work.
How does the puck do in a 1v1 against Tide? Because the one thing I look at for this Earth Spirit and Undying is that EG might be able to pin the VG.Thunder supports in their own safe lane and then try and set up some good 1v1s.
If it's classic 1-on-1 situation, they're both gonna farm.
Yeah.
If someone rotates, gives Puck some advantage, gives him Orb of Venom phase boot, then he can harass to a point until Tidehunter gets, let's say, level 2, level 3 of that Kraken Shell.
Lots of reserve time being used in VGJ, going for the Medusa.
I thought they might take it first phase, but they are going to be going back for the Sylar Medusa. This is something that stretches back into the history of Dota as a renowned carry player.
Feels strange. It's a game of gods versus demons.
It's roughly in the same theme as the Gyrocopter. It just comes online much later. And
Seconds remaining.
arguably worse in teamfight, much better, much superior in late game teamfight when call down kind of loses relevance. But the way VGJ.Thunder initially drafted their first 3 heroes, it looked like they want to use this teamfight superiority early on.
Yeah, and now they might just be taking it into the late game. It does seem that with these last 2 picks from EG that they're going to be going for sort of a true 4-protect-1. Right, they've got a bunch of early game teamfight heroes to set up, but then it seems like it might only be the Terrorblade as the big source of damage, and he's going to be the sort of the MVP for the team.
Problem is that Medusa really makes quick work of a Terrorblade. If she opts for an Aghanim Scepter build also, that would be even more troublesome.
Yeah, all this AoE teamfight is a nightmare for Terrorblade.
So you might need some other core to be kind of that breaking that bridge point core that we keep seeing from Evil Geniuses.
TA going to be banned out, and Tiny as well. So we're down to the last picks, and these teams are really short on reserve time now. Looking at the drafts, when it comes to scaling, it's only the Terrorblade and it's only the Medusa. The rest of their lineup not going to scale on the same level, but when it comes to utility, you have some added perks. Disruptor, you don't normally see this hero getting to a very late stage in the game, but we do need to remember he's got some very interesting level 25 talents. I think in particular the minus 10-second cooldown on the glimpse, meaning that these team fights, he's going to continuously glimpse people.
VGJ's both supports scale so much better, and I was never a big fan of support duel, those who are position 4 actually, or I mean Undying is 4/5, but because you rely so much on winning the lanes, and if that doesn't go right, if Earth Spirit misses a couple of rolls, then you're in a bad position. Both of these heroes have nothing to actually shove up the waves, and they can't farm. That's going to be a problem. If they lose the laning stage, EG is going to lose this game.
Yeah, and now they're going to round that with the Nyx Assassin, so just yet another kind of melee utility hero. The Death Prophet, I wonder if it might actually end up being, okay, no, so it's actually safe lane Medusa. I thought Medusa might be heading mid this game, and maybe the Death Prophet would get sent to a side lane, but it looks like it is just going to be Medusa in her kind of natural habitat in the safe lane.
So how would Medusa go into her safe lane? It's going to be against a Nyx, and do you think it's going to be Nyx Undying offlane duo?
Yeah, it'll be a possibility. Crit doesn't... The problem is that this Terrorblade is going to need a lot of help. No matter where he goes, I'm imagining that this game is going to have a lot of lane movement, which is why Lacoste said that if EG loses the laning phase, things start looking very grim, because they don't have a second core to rely on, which has been Evil Genius's trademark this entire tournament.
EG also has 0 tower damage, unless Terrorblade's meta is up.
And they have Meteor Hammer Nyx Assassin.
Yeah. And they also have 4 melee heroes 3 when Terrorblade transforms against heroes like a Tidehunter, Medusa, and DP, which you don't want to get close to.
Okay, looking at this draft right before our very eyes, is it going to be VGJ taking this 3-0, or do EG slowly mount their comeback and turn this into a 2-1?
Solid Medusa, I'm going VGJ.
VGJ?
I'm going VGJ.
VGJ.
EG is stepping out of what's won them games in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't like EG's draft. Already explained why. This feels like 3 times the draft that EG has on the side of VG.
Well, we haven't liked it before, but who knows, they could give us a wonderful surprise. Let's jump into Game 3 of this Best of 5 series. I know our casters are ready. Gods and Lumi, take it away.
Here we go, Lumi. It is Game 3, EG down a couple of games. It's time to start mounting the comeback, or GG out of the tournament, as VGJ would take the series 3-0 should they win this one. The panel did not believe in the EG draft. Do you believe in the EG draft?
I do not believe in the EG draft either.
You got Sumail Puck.
Yeah, actually, that is one of the big point here, and we'll see how Sumail will fare against Freeze on the mid lane. I think Puck definitely has the lane advantage here, because you could easily get away from the Spirit Siphon, as well as pretty much all of DP's kill potential. I'm more concerned with the player and hero placement with Fear on Nyx Assassin. We know that Fear plays a ton of different heroes. He's extremely versatile as a player. But this is the first time ever I've seen him play on an off-lane Nyx.
I think he's going mid though, Lumi. That's
okay.
I saw the hero picks and assignments. I was like, I think it's good they're putting Sumail on the puck. It was very clear and evident from like the last couple games. You know, Fear's going mid on his Death Prophets, but he's not getting help. They're leaving him to fend for himself while Sumail has these easy lanes. So I think the idea of putting him on a hero that doesn't need farm, like Death Prophet needs farm, is going to work out better for him.
Ooh, Crit rolling in here is going to steal the bounty away from Freeze and actually do quite a bit of right-click damage.
Undying, is this a kill? Decays, another roll?
Yeah, well, the Spirit Siphon's going to give him some HP. In fact, he could turn it around. Yang could skill Gush here. Maybe not. Misery 2 high HP, yeah. And in fact, he gives away his salve to Freeze.
Yeah, Crit was backing off. I don't think he actually wanted to. I think he wanted to kind of fake back and use Fog to get another roll off, but successful in that. But either way, salve committed already. Mana burn level 1. I feel like Nyx mid was a thing back when Invoker was a top pick. We often saw this Nyx go mid with Stout Shield, spam mana burn, and just be like a pseudo invoker counter. This is a kind of a similar concept in my mind.
Yep. Top lane rolling right on Sylar. Not sure it's going to get a great body block on Sylar. Sylar is going to give it the first blood. Misery will pick it up. EG has been really getting off really good looks on this offensive tri lane with RTZ in it.
He's gone more to the off lane than he has to his safe lane.
Or mid.
See what this game has in store. Definitely, despite having a dual melee support in Earth Spirit and Undying, these are two of the best supports to dominate the laning stage, and that's exactly what EG are doing. They get another kill in this top lane. TZ already getting his name on the board. Does get fairly low, but he's got Tangos and a Magic Wand, so decent HP regen to work with.
I think the EG draft has identified one of the weak links of VGJ. Well, hold that thought. RTG getting rode on right now. He has a lot of base armor. The Mystic Sing not going to be enough, and now Fade going to get right click back. And I do believe the weakness of this draft for Thunder is the fact that their support duel is quite weak. Mostly Disruptor.
Yeah.
We did see him level up 2 points of Thunderstrike in game 1. We'll see if he's going to do that here again.
Sumail meanwhile getting a 1v1 at bottom. Looks pretty even on, oh, he's slightly favored in last hits, a couple denies as well. So yeah, it is Sumail favored. Definitely a 1v1 specialist, and he's finally getting these true 1v1s in these side lanes rather than the mid lane. His room will be denied by the Death Prophet, who just wanted to get back to mid lane to continue last hitting.
This is really the first time that we've seen EG really deviate truly from the Tricore, right? To me, this seems a lot less greedy of a draft with Fear playing the mid-Nyx assassin. And pretty much, I think after he hits level 6, he's going to be actively roaming around the map instead of just sitting in lane.
Yeah, he needs to start moving, because I don't imagine, while the start was decent at top lane, RTZ is still not getting good CS. And he's kind of the big carry they played around throughout this tournament. Misery at top getting brought very, very low with the soul. If he keeps himself alive, one more tick from the Thunderstrike will bring him down, but the bigger kill could be this Medusa. Nice two-man boulder smash.
He's got a big magic wand.
Yeah, and does not have Metamorph. If RTZ has Metamorph there, it could have been a very different story. Nice Connect Field will get some extra damage out, but doesn't look like there's any follow-up. And with Misery's TP back in, Decay instantly hits a couple heroes. I imagine VGJ will have to fall back somewhat off of this. They are getting low on regen. Just one pulled Tango for the Medusa. No regen for Tusk, one Tango for Disruptor, as well as no mana. This tri-lane is going to swing EG's way for the next few minutes until more regen is brought out.
Yeah, Undying is really, truly winning this lane with Decay on multiple heroes, and of course he's providing healing through Soul Rip as well.
Yep.
But of course, EG picked this hero to win this lane. One of the big knocks against Undying is that he does fall off quite a bit in the mid to late game.
Yeah, Disruptor makes the walk back home. I imagine he's going to be responsible for bringing out regen to his teammates. Tango, Salves, Clarities. He already has a couple Clarities. I don't even imagine these are for him as much as perhaps the Medusa or Tusk should they need them. With this, EG regain control of top, get themselves the bounty runes and all that to excel. How's our mid looking? Fear, CS-wise, 14 CS to Death Prophet's 18, slightly behind, but
he's not really looking to win this lane. Fair is just looking to get that level 6.
It could become a win if this gank succeeds with the Earth Spirit.
Fair is very low on mana. He only has 2 stick charge as well.
And Spirit Siphon. I mean, Spirit Siphon against 2 melee heroes. You're not looking at a kill there. Not going to go for that. Instead, he swings back top lane, where Undying coming in from behind, looking for the supports. You don't really want to touch this Medusa, who's so incredibly tanky. And yeah, they're going to find the Tusk. Snowball to buy some time here, but RTZ waits for him to pop out, then gets a couple right clicks off the boulder smash to help get the kill. RTZ gets his second kill of the game. VGJ want to punish. They're chasing, looking for Misery, who has been slowed down by the Spirit Siphon. That's a Death Prophet TP, though, so it doesn't really feel like it's worth it just for an Undying kill. Here has a free lane while this is going on, and Medusa TP's mid. I like this more now.
Yeah. Normally when you TP away from the mid lane, most of the standard mid lane hero will punish you by pushing into your tier 1. That is one of the downside of a Nyx mid. What is he going to do with the empty wave? I guess farm more, you know?
Yep. Plan here for EG. They fall back to their shrine. All 3 heroes using that one. And TZ's meta being down means really a lane he wants to be up top. They actually smoke up and they find a kill here. I don't know how easy the Death Prophet's going to be to bring down, but perhaps Disruptor instead could be the target of their choosing.
they do have to be very aware of the fact that Yang is close to 6. AO will die here, but any more deep dives that EG make can get turned around very quickly with Yang TPing in.
Those are the kind of kills to me which don't mean much, but what does matter is the farm they're getting. All 3 cores, in typical EG fashion, doing decently in their lanes. The disruptor kills early on, first 10 minutes don't matter, but winning your lanes, that sure as hell does.
I mean, we did see EG leading the CS earlier in the last game as well. How much do you think that actually matter, given that these games seem to go very long?
I guess in the context of long games, it does not matter. Mail on Puck, can he actually get this kill here? Tide does have 1 charges and a ring of health, so with the 1 charges, it was not going to be feasible. Top lane, meanwhile, it's easy. Being initiated on by Freeze with the Death Prophet. The silence coming out as well. No Thunder, he's still just level 4, and he gets brought down. Little move there, taking advantage of their vision.
Yeah. Really like the lane rotation. Putting Medusa mid, I mean, sure, she's going to get mana burn all day long, but she really needs to catch up a little bit in terms of levels, and this is a good way to do it. Although no mana on Fair again.
Yep. And similarly, TZ TP's mid, I think recognizing he's behind on levels, much like Medusa, wanting to find some experience. Top lane Misery, though, thinking he's got some alone time to get some levels of his own, getting going on here. We're seeing a lot of these kind of underleveled heroes left alone to try and catch up on experience, getting picked off. Multiple kills going their way. The one hero that really feels like the big breadwinner of the lane stage is Sumail's Puck. He is winning the 1v1 matchup quite handily. Is going to have a fast Veil. He's already got it, and the rotation potential is very scary for him. Fear actually finding a kill mid lane with Arteezy. They bring down Silas Medusa.
At the same time, I think Freeze also doing quite well. He's able to pick up a ton of opportunistic kills, just, you know, using his Spear Siphon. And the fact that he's very high level compared to the likes of, let's say, the Terrorblade, the Undying, makes him just that much more of a threat on his own. Phase 2 already completed on DP.
Yep. Happy to stay in this top lane, lead the mid lane for Medusa, who TP's in on respawn. Knows that TP's Metamorph will be wearing out and very unlikely to find kills here. Big player for EG is very much Fear, who has got level 7. Ring of Aquila, as well as a couple clarities to kind of sustain his mana pool as he roams around. Vendetta is going to be the tool for EG to create space for these, well, I say 2 carries. Sumail not so much a carry, but very much can carry with Puck.
I think Sumail's going to have to build himself.
He's baiting bottom. He wants to go for a Ravage kill, it looks like.
Yeah.
Tusk is sitting behind him. If he baited out the orb and got a stun out, he may have found the kill. Top lane, meanwhile, Exorcism. They've gone in on the Death Prophet here. They're going to bring her down through the ultimate. That is not what you want to see if you're VGJ.
They're going to get the Disruptor kill as well. Very low movement speed. The Orb of Venom slowing him down. The Decay giving him a little bit extra damage. And here comes a kick from Crit.
That was surely EG's Fear with the Vendetta initiation, starting that one off. And that's the danger of this mid Nyx. Definitely the better roamer of the 2 mid laners. And effectively, this is a Nyx not really playing as a traditional mid, much more like that 3-position Nyx.
Yep.
Roaming around with the fast level 6.
I did talk about the Tidehunter counter gank potential, but you really just can't TP away from Sumail. Simply that Dream Coil will just cancel it every time. Sumail might be in a little bit of trouble now.
Yep, he used that orb offensively, has got the phase shift to try and dodge a potential Ravage, but there's not enough wand charges. I think that's what they were hoping for. That Yang would maybe pop a wand and Ravage Sumail, but did not have the mana to do so. And now being salved up, Fear pirating his buddy as well, and that is not the outcome they were hoping for. With a fast Hood, this Tide is not really susceptible to being solo killed by Puck. But at this point, it's not really about the Puck and Tide killing each other. It's about where they can do damage elsewhere on the map. The TP counter game from the Tide, similarly from the Puck, or Puck may even look to smoke up with his teammates at some point and initiate it. Sylar kicked back in the mid lane. Arteezy there, no Metamorph for a couple more seconds. They do need the Nyx Assassin, it feels like, and that's exactly who's showing up. Fear takes the
There's the Ravage.
Ravage, it gets
silenced. What a silence!
Oh, nicely played. Now TZ's got Metamorph, a kind of defensive Ravage. Perhaps with Death Rope coming in, they can turn this one. They want to bring down Fear. Hasn't got Carapace up, but it's Kama, Freeze on the Death Prophet. Spirit siphoning himself back to a bit more health here, but the chase is on Sumail and Arteezy. Slow him down the reflection, get the kill on the Death Prophet. Back in the river, Fade on the run as well, and Crit may be able to bring him down. Stun roll No silence needed initially. Has the urn charges as well. There's going to be a snowball in via Carapace, but he still goes down. A small consolation prize for VGJ unless they can get more. The body blocks from Misery trying to bail Crit out here, who does have a roll in a couple of seconds, and also Sumail to help them out. So no big kills for VGJ. I mean, they kill a mid laner, but it doesn't really feel like the kill you want to get there.
Yeah. Very strong early gameplay for EG. This is the second time now that they baited out a big ultimate and then still gotten the kills that they wanted. Ravage and Exorcism, the first usage of them pretty much did nothing for Thunder. So EG riding that momentum. And I gotta say, my man Fear has been doing pretty much all of that. He's gonna get glimpsed back. RTZ should be able to pick up this kill, but ooh, nice kinetic field.
Not the biggest kill even if they've gotten it, but perhaps could have led them into a tier 1 tower push.
Yep.
With that said, Metamorph not being up means something that Pal talked about is without Metamorph, their push is kind of non-existent. Meteor Hammer will add some, in all seriousness. He is rushing that as the go-to Nyx build.
To me, I feel like the series hasn't really been about the kills. For example, in the last game, even though it went 70 minutes, the kill score was relatively low. I feel like this series is more about just whether you're more farmed than the enemy cores and whether you have map control. And I feel like Nyx Assassin is just maybe the answer they need for this kind of game.
See another TZ Battle Fury build on Terrorblade. He set GPM records in that last game of his with this build. But it's not about the Terrorblade, it's mid lane where VGJ want to mount their defense. They've gone in on Crit, they will get a decent initiation. Yeah, great kick will buy him some time, but he still goes down. He's doing incredible damage with the Magnetize. Just doesn't seem like there's enough follow-up. Puck does not want to commit to this one. Perhaps with Misery getting a lot of decays out. Yes, Sumail can actually join himself in, but he may have done so into his own death.
Oh,
17 more charges, and with the Static Storm onto Sumail, he's actually dead. He will regret that jaunt into the enemy. They do create the room for Arteezy to get the top tier 1 tower, but ultimately Sumail did not need to die for that.
Yeah, one of the dangerous things is when you're playing against a Dusa lineup, when you just give up that random engagement or two, you just give her so much time to catch back up and farm. She is behind right now, but given the fact that she is playing on the dire side, this is the infamous triangle that we always refer to.
Yep.
Won't take her too long to get that farm, and she is going to finish that MOM very quickly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
she's good pace now to hit some decent item timings once she has that, but it is the EG cores and Terrorblade and Puck topping the net worth chart. Fear a bit lower down as far as being a mid. I mean, not even it's you can't really talk about being him a mid this game, other than the first 5 minutes. He is the roaming space creator, and has done a good job at that.
Yep. Really takes me back to the Dota 1 days where mid is all about roaming around and getting kills and less so about carrying.
It's the you lose a game and the carry saying GG mid no gank.
Well, this time it's GG fair spin ganking. Mid lane roll in again.
Yep. Immediate silence. The burst damage is there. Nicely played. There's a dire ward. He thought he was safe, but the range for the initiation is just too big. Crit gets glimpsed back in, but not sure they want to follow this one up. Static Storm has come back up, but does look like they're going to disengage. And the Battle Fury, it feels like a good game to go Battle Fury against Medusa because you want to be able to keep up and farm. If not keep up, stay ahead in this, this game.
It's also adding a ton of pressure by just shoving lanes in. That's definitely one way to pressure the Dusa lineup. You don't get the tier 2, most likely, because they will make those teleport and defend. But that means at the same time, that is one less hero, defending a different lane.
Yep. Fear's kind of toned back the ganking as he tries to finish his Meteor Hammer for a little bit. Was getting some alone time farming bottom. It is a pretty decent power spike considering the chain stun potential with the Impale as well as the building damage you get from it. Puck at mid, jaunted forward, and then blinked away. I think he realized they were about to go in, and Fear actually throwing out a Carapace, and the ping's coming out. It seems that they know they're here. Coming in from behind with a Tombstone. They go in the Disruptor, trying to take the Static Storm out of the fight. Well, not quite successful. Here comes the Ravage onto 2, and VGJ have responded well, taking out both Nyx and Earth Spirit.
They need to get a little bit more here. They did commit both Exorcism and Ravage, and it looks like they will get Misery as well.
And is that enough, do you think?
for VGJ,
Yep.
I think it's more than enough. The fact that they've gotten a bunch of these kills, that means they just stabilize and go back to farm.
Okay.
And like you mentioned, even though there's Terrorblade that is a pushing potential, that's pretty much all EG's gone. So I don't know if they can punish them.
Yep.
In fact, the Terrorblade Metamorphosis is on cooldown, so there is no punishment for using all those long cooldown ultimates.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he used that for a tower or what, but it is down, and I think EG happy to go back, continue playing the farming game, or VGJ happy to play the farming game. I wonder if EG are going to look to apply some pressure while those two big ultimates are down. For VGJ, it's like, all right, Medusa, go back to your farming triangle, continue to do what you do best, and he apparently just happy to farm during those cooldowns. They have got the Terrorblade Battle Fury. There isn't really immediate pressure on them to take objectives just because VGJ used ultimates.
I hope you guys are a fan of a long game, because we're going to get that here.
They were pretty happy last game, I think. So if we get something similar, I don't think there'll be too many complaints.
Sure. On that note, I'd like to see Fear, after he finishes his Meteor Hammer, to go right back for the Hand of Midas. The Meteor Hammer is actually really nice stats of regen for Nyx Assassin. Gives you pretty much everything you want. But I do feel like because this is going to be a very long game, the Midas is going to give him a ton of value.
I definitely agree with that. He will scatter the Tuz bottom lane. Misery actually came in, and I think Fear is just going to leave him to die, as was not expecting that kind of backup for the Tusk. Mid lane, Sumail trying to do what he can. Chipping away at this tier 1 tower anytime he's given the room to do so. And TZ just, you know, he's like, I set the GPM record on Terrorblade last game. I want to beat my own record this game. He is looking well and truly farmed here.
If you look at Yang's item choice, you really know what kind of game this is, right? Normally a Tidehunter, after finishing that pipe, normally goes into Blink if you want to start taking objectives and team fights, but they know that it's just about surviving, protecting your map. The fights will come, but right now, just let your team farm.
It almost felt like Tide could have gone for a Midas. You talk about this being a long game.
Sure.
You don't want to get too many, because that's where you see that one of whoever doesn't have them is going to be like, let's go fight. They got too many Midases, but getting 1 or 2 seems reasonable.
Well,
push back mid, Tide. Can they bring him down? He's very tanky. This is where he's happy. He does not have a Midas.
That Meteor Hammer, though, not going to hit.
Off the mark. Potential glimpse back onto Fear to set the Static Storm here. They're going to go for it. The Boulder Smash perhaps preventing it. They still get the glimpse. No Static Storm needed. He throws a Carapace right away. Still getting booked on underneath the tower here with Ravage back up. VGJ want to force this mid lane tier 1 tower. Arteezy is top, though, in a position to take a tier 2 tower.
That tier 2 is actually going low pretty fast.
Yeah.
But Freeze has Exorcism available, chooses not to use it.
I mean, Arteezy's choosing not to even commit to the tower with his hero. He recognizes a TP could spell his demise, and he also farms fast in the jungle with his Battle Fury. He can just send his illusions up top.
Yep.
Tier 1 mid goes down, and I feel like tier 1 mids are equal or maybe even more valuable than side lane tier 2 towers in a lot of ways anyways.
Yeah, especially with now the positioning of the shrines, they kind of count like T2 side lane towers sometimes, whereas the mid one is very irreplaceable.
Dire's middle tower.
Well, CEG look to make a move now. They smoke up as 3. Undying is at bottom, so I imagine they will be headed towards Misery to go take a fight around this bottom tier 1. Arteezy may want to join up as well. He's got Mantisile. He can send illusions, may keep some pressure on, get some vision. As for Fear, he's vendetted up. He scouts out Fade. Observers and Sentries in his hands, although he did not see Fear.
If they get this Juicer kill on the bottom side and the tier 1 tower, that's going to be a big win.
Burst there quickly, though. Have they got the burst damage? Oh, they didn't even know that roll was coming. That is so unfortunate.
Very high APM pause. Well done, Fade.
Oh, I mean, he paused before the roll even happened. I mean, yeah. All you can do is laugh about that one. Yeah,
they know.
It's definitely a scenario where it helps VGJ, because EG have already planned out how they initiate, and now VGJ get time to react. It's unfortunate, but There was nothing malicious about this.
Here's the thing, I don't think Sylar will ever get off his stone gaze because Sumail's right on top of him. So the question now becomes, can Yang get into that fight with the teleport scroll in time to save Sylar?
Yep.
And I don't really think.
It's also like who TPs first.
Yeah.
Now the pause gives you time to discuss, like, all right, we're going to TP this hero in first,
I think
in the Death Prophet second, and then Disruptor immediately drop like a static storm the second you get close enough. But again, unfortunate this happens. No foul play intended, but we'll see how things unravel after this pause. EG, do you think they've got the burst damage? They've got a lot of good stuns and silencers.
I definitely think they have enough to kill the Medusa. I think the question more comes down to how many do you lose if you commit hard for the Medusa. Medusa has max mana shield and a 13 charge on the wand, likely going to be to 17. The question is, can you chain stun her to prevent that 17 charge wand to come out?
Okay. We've got the Boulder Smash, Impale, plus Meteor Hammer. We'll see if all that's going to be enough. The damage output is maybe where they struggle. Terrorblade is not quite there. He's further back in the river, but we'll get back to that as we're still paused for a little bit longer. Not sure what the issue is. There were some mic stuff earlier on. Right now it started off good for EG this game. You know, they had a 4-5K gold lead. It does feel like that slipped away a bit through VGJ's strong team fight.
Yeah. This is exactly what happened last game as well, where VGJ kind of just snuck themselves back in a game when they were behind 3 to 4K. But I think this particular fight is going to be a big impact, because if they get that clean kill, likely they get the tier 1 as well.
Yep. What are you looking after the, I mean, as far as the game state right now, do you think late game is going to favor either team? Medusa versus Terrorblade, Tidehunter, Puck, like what's your read on this game as far as it I mean, you say it's going to be a late game. Who does that a long game? Who does that favor? Personally,
I think that favors Thunder a lot more because of their team fight potential. It really comes down to a very interesting mind game between Sylar and Arteezy, what kind of build they each other go for. So Sylar, if he goes for the Aghanim Scepter, he just one-shots the Terrorblade Illusions.
Yep. All right, well, hopefully we get right back.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yep.
The teams are ready to go. Hop back in.
Camera, get off us. Okay.
You don't want to look at our faces. They've gone in. They're looking to burst down this Medusa. Is the damage there? The Tide instantly TPs in, and EG smartly disengaged. They weren't even going to be able to burst the Medusa, it looked like, without the Terrorblade there. Crypt may pay for this as well. Arteezy didn't even continue going bottom. He swung mid to take a tier 1.
Yeah, they knew immediately then.
Perhaps, and once they see that Tide TPing, they know they've got to get out.
Yep.
Sumail, ooh, that's a DD rune. He's going to grab it. Has it all preemptively cast.
Maybe that was where the next Meteor Hammer is supposed to shine. You hit him right as he TP'd in, you know, and you get that Dusa kill.
Yep. Stun them both. Well, not a big loss for EG, although they may be thinking if the pause didn't happen, we may, get the kill if Tide doesn't respond.
The hero loss of crit is not that big of a deal. It's more of the opportunity cost, because they probably would have gotten the kill in the tower.
And they took a tier 1 mid, so it actually was still a slightly EG favored trade. Is the crazy thing, but an area where they kill a Medusa and take the tier 1 mid and tier 1 bottom is the kind of dream outcome there.
I feel like so far this series has been identified by excellent item choices on both part. And I just want to say that I like where Arteezy's going with. I think he has queued up a Shadow Blade.
Ooh, yeah, he's got the Silver Edge. He's got the Shadow Blade, I want to say, since the Silver Edge was queued up.
Ooh, Arteezy's going to get caught here. Snowball's going to be there.
And they bring him down. He gets pulled back into a silence. And Arteezy caught out very close to his tier 2 tower. He must have thought he was in such a good defensive position, but able to get out of that one. And unfortunately for him, his Shadow Blade was also on the courier. It looked like he was standing around trying to use the courier, not really reacting to what was coming his way.
And the reason that I like the Shadow Blade here is that it gives them a way to kill that Tidehunter or force them to use a pretty bad Ravage.
Yeah. If you're Tide, you may have to see this and adjust your build to be able to get rid of the the break. That's like a Lotus or a BKB or something. Misery, ooh, barely TP's out. He's got a Midas, so double Midas for EG. The Midas is queued up for Fear. It's not been bought yet. Too greedy, just the right amount of greed.
I feel like the right amount of greed, because even if Thunder decides to say, okay, we see 2 Midas, let's punish you for that. The way that, hold that thought here, as crit is going to get slowed down. The way that Thunder push is very cooldown based. They might get 1 or 2 towers as a reaction to those Midases. They're not going to like get a Rax or anything crazy like that.
And they're the kind of heroes that aren't going to benefit immensely from any immediate item. Maybe the slightly slower Ags on a Nyx can hurt you, but Undying's one of those heroes to me, kind of like Phoenix, where it's like there's no items that you feel like you need or want to buy. You just want levels and get stronger much later in the game just through having things like a Midas.
The good old smoke inside the Roshan pit. They're going to try to rotate around, but the smoke is going to perhaps break here.
If he pops, he will get spotted by this ward immediately.
By the way, Fade has a Blink Dagger, so he could snowball and jump out.
They see him, the Shadow Blade initiation from Arteezy. He's there with the silence. They burst down the Tusk. He's done for. Sylar, he can't pop the Stone Gaze because of the Mask of Madness for now. Boulder Smash goes through, clips Yang on the Tide. He doesn't have much mana to work with for this fight. And EG will back off. Will they go for Roche? They want to get something more with this Metamorph.
I wonder if they noticed the fact that Tide is very low mana after popping the mech.
Yeah.
He only has enough for a Ravage and maybe the Pipe.
He did drop his items to pop the one, so we got a bit of extra value there. They go on the Medusa. Silas lost his mana pool here. Pops the one, but he's still got no mana left. They didn't get him with the Meteor Hammer, but the Yule's up. Will buy some time, but no Impale. As it was still on cooldown, the silence coming out now as well. Does not look like EG will get those additional kills.
And that's Metamorphosis almost ending. So they don't get pretty much anything. No Roshan.
Almost a perfect tombstone bait of sorts. It's Misery getting glimpsed back, not the perhaps ideal target. And Fear also caught in nice shots. Bit of a standoff here as the Atos chase is on. Fear getting tossed up in the air with the Walrus Punch. He may go down here with the silence. He can't really do a whole lot. And EG on full retreat.
They have Gush available in a couple seconds. Crit, there's really no way for him to counterplay this, not that I think of.
Has got a stun. And will hit 4, but not going to go in.
And all of a sudden, it's VGJ inside the Roshan pit. They do have Gush available.
They have Exorcism, more importantly.
Yeah.
If they want to commit that one. EG just say, all right, let's get out. Let's push out, split push some of these lanes and see what we can do. Is Sumail going to go for it, Lumi?
He pretty much has to, I feel like. And here comes the buyback.
Yep, Exorcism is going to be used. The first Orb going to scout out. Now he knows how low Roche is, as well as the TB Illusion, giving some good intel. Sumail going in from north. AO has a Static Storm. He can drop the numbers. Nice blink, Warren Punch. He catches Sumail with the silence. Sumail needs to use his heals defensively. In goes Crit. He snatches the Aegis. Crit stunned it. He's bought some time. They take out the Tombstone to deal with this fight. It's going to be a dead Undying, but they've lost Disruptor on the side, as well as Tusk. It's EG coming out on top of the Roche fight. Costs them one buyback to do so, but well worth it in the end. And VGJ was so worried about, that's the Sumail factor. You're so scared of what this kid can do on a puck, stealing an Aegis. It's not even him who ends up making the play in the end. It's Crit, this EG team, so star-studded, and Crit steals the Aegis. Sumail was just getting zoned out, but he didn't need to do anything.
The crazy thing is he still has the Aegis, and that allows him to play very aggressively. The fact that he had to buy back for it, and now he retains the Aegis, I mean, everything worked out perfectly for EG there.
Well, that is a thorn in VGJ's side as we go into the late game here.
Yep.
Terrorblade continuing to fairly significantly outfarm Medusa thanks to the Battle Fury build. Has got a BKB queued up. I think it's more just a, I don't want to be able to get solo killed by a Disruptor kind of pickup. By solo killed, perhaps the wrong word there, but a Disruptor catching you guarantees your death, and that, as we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Unless you Manta dodge it, that's not easy play. Manta dodge that glimpse.
Pretty hard to time, but we are on land.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the double Hannah Midases on the EG supports. Well, not support. Nyx is not a support, but
he kind of he's
so let's start with the Undying. Undying does have some very nice talents. He might not seem like the very good late game hero, but once you get to 25, you just have a good assortment of, like, when I die, I drop a Tombstone, I have a Reincarnation. It becomes to a point where it's very annoying for the opposing cores to deal with. And you can itemize yourself according to this game. I think this game you probably want to take up a ton of armor. and probably things like 4-staff Lotus Orb for the team. And he will be able to itemize because of the Hana Midas. And very likely 4D Nyx Assassin, not as good of a talent tree, but very good item choices. I think Aghanim Scepter is definitely going to be a consideration.
Yeah, I think with Nyx, it's maybe less about the levels and more about the fact it's a hero that benefits a lot from getting 4 or 5 items in the late game.
Yeah.
Undying is more about the levels, though. And also the fact you have no way to farm. Like, having a Midas will just kind of make up for some of your hero shortcomings. Well, things settle down, slow down here. EG happy to play the long farm game, it seems. Aghanim's queued up on Puck. That feels like a fantastic item to help deal with this Medusa in a game like this. Just being able to stun her for long periods of time. And also the kick to break the coil as well.
Yeah, I think that's the combination. If there's no way to push him into the coil break, I feel like the axe is probably one of the weaker choices. Because Dusa, if she gets coil, she's gonna just stand there.
Bottom lane, Silas TP'd in, they stun him up, they get the Shadow Blade in from Arteezy. He's been silenced, but the 4-staff is enough to get him back to safety. They threw a lot to try and get that kill, and perhaps VGJ will use that to punish. Fade's been dream caught. He's got a gen here. If they do manage to bring him down, doesn't look like they can. What a great snowball. Tusk players these days. It feels like the new Earth Spirit with all the flashy stuff we're seeing these Tusk players do. Get himself back to safety. Dream Coil used, Metamorph used. EG definitely going to just go farming mode right now. As for VGJ, they could try and take a fight. I mean, they don't care about an Earth Spirit Aegis, that's for certain.
So it feels like we will have one of these conversations every game. Let's talk about scaling for both of these teams. I do feel that with EG having double Hana Midases on their utility heroes, with the Battle Fury, and of course the inevitable Puck 420 GPM, EG just has much more goal to work with.
They do, but to me it still always comes down to like the hero composition to some extent as well. You can have equal or more farm, but it's like an Undying who has farm. Is that going to match up against like the impact of a Tide or a Tusk? A Tusk, to me, could have a bigger late game impact than an Undying, even if one has more farm than the other.
Well, we're going to see Fear start sieging up on that tower.
Nice.
Pretty good damage.
Fade. Oh.
Okay. Quick micro.
Didn't blink to the quite correct spot either.
Guys, you'd be surprised how powerful an Undying is with farm and levels.
That's true. Okay. Ready
I mean,
to see
I do agree with you that, you know, I'll take a Medusa on my team any day in the late game, but...
Yeah. I mean, TB versus Medusa is kind of an interesting one because it goes both ways. A bit reflection. Yeah, he's gone the reflection cooldown.
Okay.
It's, I think, definitely worth it because those Medusa illusions, you know, you're split pushing, split shotting his teammates. And that's where damage output can really be added by this Terrorblade. And yeah, 10 stats is nice and all, but 5-second cooldown reflection, yes please.
Now
is he looking for this kill? His teammates are quickly running in. Fear.
There's a Rod of Atos, nice invis dodge. And looks like he'll be okay.
Metamorph coming back up shortly. He's going to BKB as well, so not as worried about things like the Ravage. Exorcism comes out to Mail, just trying to take out the creep wave, but it's 30 minutes, double siege creep. The timing for this push could not have been better from VGJ, as they will look to take out the Tombstone. They impale, they go on the
What a snowball.
Yeah, snowball save is there, as well as setting up a kill on Fear. Nicely done from Fade.
But look at the top lane of Rax. Arteezy's trying to go for a base trade. He's going to do a ton of damage to that tower.
Very, very fast, Lumi. It is a good old-fashioned base trade. VGJ need to start thinking about, do we defend? Tuska's TP'd back, trying to deal with Arteezy here. They take down the mid-Rex themselves. Top lane going down. It is a 1 Rex for 1 Rex trade.
He needs to cancel this TP on Arteezy, but Arteezy with the Shadow Blade just gets out of there.
So, yeah. Can VGJ get more back in the mid lane? They're looking to finish off Crit with the glimpse back. They don't, well, they won't even need the glimpse back. They secure that kill. They can't go for another lane, though, because tier 2 towers are up.
Yep. So we just got a Rax trade. We're back to even.
I mean, that doesn't really feel like it favors either team significantly.
I think the mid the mid-racks being pushed down does favor VGJ slightly a bit more, because it gives you more of an edge when it comes to the Roshan.
It feels a bit like last game though, where it's like one laner racks kind of whatever in a sense. Like both teams have decent heroes to deal with it. Medusa, obviously fantastic. TB with Battle Fury, fantastic. Puck Veil, pretty good as well. One lane of racks is far from being a decider.
I definitely agree with that point.
Feels like another game that will be late game, buybacks. I mean, Mega Creeps is another kind of game deciding thing, but a lane hero there of Rax, not the game deciding.
I think much more than last game though, Roshan is a much bigger factor, especially if we are getting to the refresher shard territory. I do see Thunder having some amazing refresher shard hero.
Oh yeah. What can EG do? I mean, talk about them playing a bit more of the economy game, getting these Midases. It seems like VGJ wanted to punish it. That's why they went for that mid lane push. Feeling like they're the stronger of the two teams. I mean, it's an EG. It's been an EG 3 to 4K gold lead, but factoring in Midases, it's effectively nothing. And the team fight advantage definitely on the VGJ side. That's why EG choose to go for that Rax trade, because they just know they cannot really team fight.
At least not right now. They're not itemized enough to fight through Ravages and Exorcisms.
It does feel, it's hard to say, but it's one of those things where, you know, TB, you go this reflection, it feels like your high ground defense against Medusa is decent. I guess the problem is you can't, once Death Prophet's on your high ground with Exorcism, you can't burst her down. As we saw, you've got Snowball, you've got this great saving technique that is going to make it very difficult for EG to initiate in and stop Death Prophet.
That's just one part of it. I mean, they could Blink Ravage, they got the mech, they got the pipe, they could even drop a Static Storm on top of the Death Prophet. There's a lot of way to protect Freeze in this game.
Yep.
With that said though, you know, this is the reverse of what we saw last game. You don't really want Death Prophet as a matchup versus Terrorblade. She just quickly dies to any good focus fire by Arteezy.
Yeah, that was what we saw. I think the Ghost Scepter pickup last game was very necessary for Fear. I wonder if this Death Prophet even considers something like that. Has a Hex queued up, even the ultimate orb already purchased, but the physical burst is definitely a big problem. EG, is this time for them where they're actually going to smoke? They're grouped up.
Yeah, they want to fight. They have Bloodthorn being delivered in, and they're looking to...
Big boost in damage. VGJ are also smoked up, immediately gets popped. Fear throws the Impale, Meteor Hammer queued as well. The Snowball is there. Carapace coming out from Fear, blinking from Sumail, gets 2 in the silence. What can they do? On the high ground is the Terrorblade, but it's a Ghost Scepter. The TB keeps it, does not get the kill on the Tide because of it. Was looking to bring him down. Nicely played by EG to push VGJ back, but unfortunately they did not get the kills they were looking for. And talk about Tide itemizing against the Silver Edge. Well, Ghost Scepter is a great way to do that.
Yep, and you could do it for the cheap. It's only, you know, 1600 gold.
Yep.
Gives you some decent stats. And that was a very good defensive play for...
Arteezy wants back in. His Metamorph still has a bit of action on it. Another smoke up from VGJ.
Oh, God. And they have Ravage available.
Who are they going to go on here? They pop it. Misery may just be left for dead. I think this is a hero you let die. Yes, you've got this Metamorph going, but no, they want to fight this one. They're trying to take the fight. EG. Arteezy goes in with BKB. Can they burn silent? He can't use his ultimate. He's being silent. Arteezy wants to get the kill on Medusa. He's lost the Metamorph, though. He's back in melee form, and with that, he may be done for. Silence still incredibly low. He gets brought down. Arteezy on the run. Yule's up, needs to find the Thunder Tug. He's got a Manda Star, but he's been chain stunned by VGJ. They've lost the Terrorblade. On the run is Crit, who gets blocked off by VGJ. Misery dead as well, and Sumail. He's just trying to pull this creep wave away. Trying to buy some time for his team so that they don't lose their high ground. What a good fight from VGJ.
In that team fight, we saw 2 very critical things. Very good patience from Yang. His team was getting completely hammered down by Meteor Hammer, Tombstone. There was a lot of things that I think a lot of players would have just immediately ravaged. But he understands that the most important kill in that team fight was Arteezy. So he waited out the BKB, got the Ravage off, and then started getting that kill. The second thing is the Puck Dream Coil. As I was trying to talk about earlier, the whole team got coiled, but because you're a Dusa-based lineup with Tidehunter, you just stand in the coil and just pretty much tank through it. I think they really need the assist of Earth Spirit to kick and break that coil and apply a stun. Without it, the coil, Ags or no Ags, doesn't really do that much.
It does feel like, more than anything, maybe if TB's Metamorph had not worn off, they take that fight though.
Sure.
At that point, they just lost all of their damage. Medusa, I don't think gets Stone Gaze off, if not for the Metamorph wearing off, as well as the rest of the heroes who are coiled, likely just get pummeled down by Arteezy. Things will once again go into the crazy late game here.
Yeah. And one very important resource in this game is going to be Arteezy's BKB timer. That was the 10-second one. They lost the fight. And the reason that is important is that's pretty much how much time he gets to right-click before he gets ravaged. That is his only defensive tool. They're going to go on Sylar.
They saw the Disruptor. They did not want to go on him. They're looking for bigger prey, and it is Sylar. He's got Stone Gaze again. They get the silence. He immediately four-stabs up, though. Are they going to chase this one? Sumail gets hexed up. He could be in trouble. The Static Storm to fall up. Sumail on the puck. Uses himself defensively. Arteezy pops the ultimate BKBs, but he cannot do any damage because of this Stone Gaze. He does not want to get turned to stone. Fear, impale, and run. Drops a Carapace, but he's still in trouble. Very, very low. The Gush will finish him off. And Arteezy, he's the last hope, but without a BKB, he's still in a bit of trouble here.
Ravage and
play around with. Sunder's Fade wants to get this kill, but he's being hexed up. Ravage comes out. EG get hit by absolutely a crushing team fight here. They've lost 4. Immediate buyback from the puck of Sumail, and this does not look good. Sumail even jaunted back into this one.
And now he gets glimpsed back into the fight. Sumail's going to get control. He has Yules, he has Phase. I think he can make it out of here. He needs to actually blink. Okay, he blinks away, he orbs.
I think you just ignore him. Go push a lane. You've got 4 dead.
Yeah.
And that will TP himself home.
That's yet another team fight victory for VG. Again, another second down on that BKB timer. The reason that EG wanted to take that fight is that they recognized that Yang's Ravage was still down for a couple of seconds, but they just couldn't kill people fast enough.
That force up too. What a game-winning force up that hill. And at that point, you want to try and burst down this Medusa before she stone gazes during the silence, because that completely crippled Arteezy. His entire BKB duration was wasted because he couldn't fight into the stone gaze. And boy, oh boy, is that spelled trouble for EG. It's a small goal deficit, but we're just seeing team fight after team fight go VGJ's way, and with Aegis Cheese in VGJ's hands, potentially.
We have seen Crit do it before. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yep, they know there's no Ravage. They want to take this fight, but Fear's been caught in the Static Storm. He looks like he should be going down here. Drops a Meteor Hammer just to do some damage before he's taken out. Another big thing, it feels like. Oh, buyback from Fear.
Oh, they're just throwing everything onto this.
I think they know this needs to be their Roche.
Yeah.
There's no Ravage. This has to be a Roche that they claim. Or this may just be game over for them.
Static Storm and Ravage both down for 40 seconds.
They will have Metamorph in 20 seconds, which gives them about a 15-second window with Metamorph and no Ravage.
That seems like it's not going to be enough.
I agree. And Stone Gaze is up, most importantly.
Yeah.
So Arteezy.
Wow, is he going to just go in and try to sneak it?
He believe went in undetected. I think he was out of range of that sentry.
Yeah, he definitely was.
If you just show, he theoretically could. I don't know about this.
Frozen Sigil is on cooldown for a while.
8 seconds, no Tide Ravage. Can they do this quick enough? It looks like the answer is yes. They'll get the Aegis and the Cheese. Stone Gaze is used. Arteezy does not need to fight into this one. Throws the Reflection out. And we'll wait for this to wear off. Nice Bolt Smash going through, catches the Medusa. The Medusa in trouble. EG gonna go chasing now. No Stone Gaze to worry about. Arteezy, BKBs, charges forward. Potential Ravage once his BKB wears off. The War and Sludge will buy some time. Can they bring down Arteezy? The answer is yes. He won't have Metamorphosis. Even though he's got Aegis, this could still be bad for EG. Sumail in the front line doing a ton of damage, as well as the Magnetite from the Earth Spirit. Arteezy gets the Thunder up, but he's still in some trouble. He gets kicked back from Crit, trying to keep him alive. Thunder, EG, Arteezy, he's Silver Edges, he takes out the Disruptor, he gets back to safety. Can he get out of this one, slowing them with the Reflection?
He could maybe even turn around. He does have the Bloodthorn back up, and now the heal HP. Sylar is still very low. Oh, he's gonna go for kill. The Hex is gonna be there. Can he actually get off? He has Yule Scepter in a couple seconds. Arteezy really looking to man fight, and that's gonna be the kill on Freeze. On the backline, Sylar being chased. And I don't think they're gonna get Sylar. He has way too much. And now Sumail, that's gonna be a dieback on Sumail. Fear's been corralled in as well. He has very low mana. He has no Teleport Scroll. Fear is gonna go down with the rest of EG.
What just happened? They got VGJ so low. That was incredibly close to being an EG victory. All they needed was a bit more damage to kill off Sylar, but He escapes on a sliver of HP, stands his ground and fights, and somehow Arteezy also got chased all the way back to the top bounty rune and killed off as well. Oh, it looked like it was going to be so good for EG, but somehow VGJ, through sheer survivability, held their own.
You know, one of the most underrated aspects of the Greaves is the fact that when you fall below a certain HP threshold, you get 15 extra armor, 12 extra HP regen, and I think that was what kept them in that fight. They just outlasted the entirety of EG, and here comes Freeze. Might not have exorcism, but Deuce is going to pick up a double damage. Oh boy, let's go.
Unfortunately for Arteezy, he really needed to get that cheese off during his first life, because that's his Metamorph life. He respawns and doesn't have Metamorph up. Oh, Rapier. Medusa wants to end this game, Lumi. We've got ourselves a Rapier. They're going for the tier 4s. They are so close to securing a 3-0 over EG right now. VGJ looking for some revenge. No puck, no Nyx Assassin. Can EG defend Arteezy? He's been hexed up. He can't get the Sun Drop. And it looks like this is it. EG. They call it. They have been 3-0'd by a resilient VGJ team, bouncing back from the lower bracket. They've done it. Look at the excitement on the VG Gaming side.
This is an incredibly young team being led by ROTK, Sylar, and Yang, but